Today I'm going to teach you how to fix DaVinci Resolve from crashing when you go to render it using your NVIDIA graphics cards. It's mainly concerns laptop users or people who have 8GB of VRAM, as I discovered the problem to be all related to VRAM, and I'll show you how I discovered that and how can we fix it. Now before I go into the fixing, I'll give you a background to the problem. The problem started with DaVinci Resolve 20 Plus, so I think we're up to 20.1.3, and it mainly happened when I use some AI like SmoothCut AI, and that uses a lot of VRAM, and when you go to render it, it crashes when you combine multiple effects on top. So I'm gonna teach you how to fix that. Let's dive straight into it. What we're looking at is my timeline, and if you look, there's some stuff going on here, and I'll show you. This is 4K footage from my DJI Action 4 on top of a compound clip, and this compound clip, if I open it in the timeline, shows you what it really is. That's just basically a bunch of cuts that I've done on my Sony 8-bit 4K 25 FPS footage. But if you see here, this is what is giving me the issue. The smooth cut with the speed wrap, which uses AI to blend two frames. If you can see, the blend is happening, you hardly can notice it. It's actually fantastic work, like it's amazing. But the problem with this is when you go back to the timeline, you'll start realizing that it consumes a lot of GPU power and a lot of VRAM, which unfortunately we're very limited with on laptops. I couldn't find more than 8GB of RAM in a laptop that is portable and you can travel with all the time, and none of this gaming massive laptops that you need 240 watt bricks to carry. I have a 4060 RTX with 8GB of VRAM and a 32GB of DDR5 memory with an Intel i9 Ultra 9, sorry, 185H 16 core. The problem is when I go to render this using the NVIDIA card, it always crashes when it reaches this bit. And in this bit, you can see that maybe I can tidy it a little bit, but what's happening here is there's 4K footage, and there's also a fusion composition of the subscribe to my channel, which is quite heavy on the VRAM side. And there's the timeline here, the smooth cuts as well going in the background. That's probably, I can cut it out because you can't really see them. And probably you know what happened, guys? My laptop just crashed, gave me an NVNeck problem on the OBS, which I'm using to film here. And just illustrates the problem. I was just trying to show you the smooth cut, how heavy it is, and it just crashed my laptop completely. So I had to restart it and coming back to here now. And that's exactly where it fails every time with the render. And now it gave me the same problem, but not rendering, just using an NVNeck. So it's clearly too much. And usually what I do is I lower, when I work, I lower the timeline resolution to Full HD to just make it a bit more scrolly like. And this is, mind you, on proxies, not on camera original, which is extremely heavy. And this again all goes down and boils down to that AI usage. And on top of all of that, and I have color grading obviously, which doesn't help as well. But on top of all of that, I'm using AI for the audio, AI voice isolation right here, because I made a silly mistake. I didn't connect the microphone properly. I connected the camera to the headphone jack, to the monitoring rather, to the output, and it didn't capture the mic volume. So all the volume was taken from the camera body, which is kind of horrible to say the least. So I had to use the AI voice isolation, which worked perfectly, and it's sweet, fixed it for me. But again, adds a layer of heaviness and more usage of the VRAM. Now, enough babbling. What did I do to fix it? Okay, two ways, and the simplest ways is to put all these cuts in the compound clips like I did here, and just right click on the compound clip and just click render in place, and you render it. Just make sure to choose good codec like ProRes or DNX HD, and Apple 422 is good, or high quality. Don't go proxy or LT because you want it in the highest quality possible. Be mindful, this is going to take a lot of space, so make sure you have space on your hard drive before you start. Once you render it, this becomes the rendered file, and it treats it as an MP4 or MOV file or any normal file, even with all the fancy editing you did to it. So that will reduce the RAM load substantially. You can also do the same to this, render in place, but I've noticed that it's not necessary. So what I did is I rendered all of these separately, or you can do them all together at the same time, render in place. And that took me around 13 minutes. And then I rendered the whole project. Make sure obviously to go back and put it into 4K before you render, if you want to deliver it in 4K. Highly advisable if you're uploading to YouTube. And these are the settings I usually upload with: MP4, AV1, Intel. And I use Intel because it takes the load off the NVIDIA. So what DaVinci does, it still uses the NVIDIA GPU for encoding or whatever it is, but it actually works with the CPU and the Intel graphics card to offload some of the work to there. So all the transitions and everything goes to the RAM and VRAM and the power of the GPU, but then the literal encoding is done by Intel. The CPU or the graphics card, while the NVIDIA, if you choose NVIDIA, everything is done with the NVIDIA, with the GPU, and that puts even more load on it. So the Intel one is quite good, and I put constant bitrate. Usually 10,000 is plenty. For AV1, it's enough, it's beautiful, you won't notice it, it won't artifact. Add to render queue, and then after we've done the rendering, which took 7 minutes, it finished in 3 minutes 55, which is great. Now, this got me pondering, am I getting all these crashes because I'm using the actual better graphics card and I'm limited on VRAM? Yes, that's the case. So what if I turn off the NVIDIA graphics card and force DaVinci to use only the Intel Arc built in the GPU graphics card, because that's shared a 32 GB of RAM memory with the CPU, so DaVinci can have access to as much RAM as it wants with the graphics card. What I did is I went to the BIOS, I disabled the GPU in the BIOS because that's the only way to force DaVinci to use the other card. I ran it and it worked, but this time it took around 25 to 30 minutes to finish the same thing, while my other method, all in all, finished in 13 minutes. But yes, funnily enough, if you disable the powerful GPU and use the weaker GPU, it should work perfectly. It's gonna be a pain to edit, it's gonna be pain to render, it's gonna be very slow with all this AI shenanigans, but it works. And just got me thinking, why can't DaVinci, when you run out of GPU for the NVIDIA, offload it to the memory, even if it takes a little bit more time, but don't crash it at least. That's something for them to probably address if it's possible. I'm not sure if it's physically possible, but here's the thing. I think all you need for the 4K footage and 4K timeline and AI usage is at least probably 12 gigabytes of VRAM, 16 gigabytes. You don't need 32 or 24. 8 gigabytes, you hit the limit, especially if you want to use AI. So use these methods, render in place, and that will fix it for you, like it fixed it for me. So don't be despair, don't get frustrated. This is a solution. Let me know in the comments if that solved your problem. Let me know also if you want to see more videos like this. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. This is Rami out.